You are not saved by works. You are not saved by works. See, this is the reason why I hate religion so much. Because religious people make you think you can be saved by works. But no matter how good your works are, they can't save you. I don't care how good your works are. I don't care how often you do good works. I don't care how long you've been doing good works. You are not saved by works. So you look at religious folks and watch this. They're not believers. I'm telling you to your face, you are religious. You are not a believer. So you say, well, I go to church every Sunday. I don't care where you go every Sunday. Going to church every Sunday does not make you a believer. You are not saved by going to church every Sunday. I go to church every Sunday. Well, I speak in tongues and I praise God. I don't care who you praise. I don't care how many tongues you speak in. You are not saved by works. You can praise God until your head falls off. It can't save you. You can speak in tongues until you grow another tongue. It cannot save you. You are not saved by works. I don't care how much tithe you pay. You are not saved by works. I don't care how much offering you give. You are not saved by works. So if you look at the church, if you look at religious people, you're going to see people who never became believers. You should have came into church, started living according to the word, and became a believer. But religious people, they never become believers. They stay religious. So you see religious folks and you see people who became givers, but they never became a believer. You became a tithe payer, but you never became a believer. You became a good dancer, but you never became a believer. You became a shouter. You became an amener, but you never became a believer. You became a preacher. You became a minister. You became a bishop, but you never became a believer. So you are acting like you can be saved by works. You are acting like becoming all of these things in the eyes of people is enough. But you're just religious. That's why after you do all your giving, you're still doubting. After you do all that preaching, you still doubting. That's why after you do all that dancing, you go home and cry. That's why after you do all that shouting, you still can't get along with your family. That's why after you do all that praising, you still can't get along with your wife. Because you never became a believer. You never became a person who lives by God's design. You are religious and you can never be saved by works. So I'm warning you right now. I'm telling you right now, you better get faith. You better live by God's design. You better learn how to live by God's system. So many people are trying to get money. Whether you ever get money or not, you better get faith. Whether you ever get that big house or not, you better get faith. Whether you ever get to speak in 10 different tongues at church or not, you better get faith. Whether you ever get to the point where you are tithing $1,000 a week or not, you better get faith. Whether you ever get to the point where you're pastoring a church or not, you better get faith. You are not saved by works. I don't care what these religious people tell you. You are not saved by works. And that stupid religious teaching or that stupid religious belief, it has people out here thinking crazy stuff like, one day I'm going to give my life to God. You know why you say that? It's because you think all you got to do to live for God is to stop smoking and you good. That's a lie. After you stop smoking, you got something to learn, bro. You think all you got to do is stop clubbing. That's your hang up. Once you stop clubbing, then you good. That's a lie. You can let the smoking go, the drinking go, the fornicating go, let the clubbing go, and you still ain't living for God. You're still not living by God's design because you haven't learned to live by God's design. It's more to it than what everybody can see. It's more to it than what these religious people done told you. So you sitting up here living your life any way you choose to live it, and you think that one day you just gonna magically become a child of God once you stop doing this particular thing. You're gonna get a rude awakening once you let that smoking go and you still don't have the faith to stand on nothing that God said. Once you let that drinking go and you still don't have the faith to stand on nothing God said. Once you let that fornicating go and you still don't have the faith to trust God for nothing. See, I done been there. I done been religious, but I never knew the truth of living for God's system or living by God's design until I got out of religion and I became a believer. You have to become a believer because you are not, nor will you ever be saved by works.